So I'm still in command? You'll speak to the Emperor about it.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Director.
What's up guys, my name is Timbo, and yes, I am back making videos once again. I'm sorry that I haven't been uploading a lot lately. There's just been a lot of things going on in my life right now, and Destiny being the main game of this channel not being very lively at the moment certainly isn't helping. However, I'm now on Thanksgiving break and have a few days of free time to really try and crank out some videos for you guys. I still want to try and hit 100k by the end of the year. I don't think it will happen anymore because it's kinda hard to maximize subscriber gains when you don't upload, but whatever. We'll hit it eventually, guys. So I'm gonna skip the fluff here and get right to it. Since you're watching this video, you probably already know, but there's been quite a bit of controversy surrounding Star Wars Battlefront 2, which I gotta admit is pretty upsetting. As it stood until a few days ago, the game is plagued left and right with greedy microtransactions. And you know, I've said it before in this channel, I'm someone who generally doesn't have a giant issue with microtransactions in games. I made a video specifically on this. If you want to watch it, you can click the icon in the top right corner of your screen. But basically, look. Microtransactions, in my opinion, can be implemented positively. A game like Overwatch does them really well. They keep them simply cosmetic and allow all players full access to all maps and heroes when they come out. However, I think for everyone there is a line that can be crossed, and Star Wars Battlefront 2 has definitely crossed that line. Long story short, the in-game purchases within Battlefront 2 are in many cases pay to win and are implemented so strongly into the game that they have become an integral part of the upgrading and leveling process. There has been a lot of tests done to find certain statistics, and many of them are just disgusting. The game was designed to make the grind a non-fun experience in the hopes that the average consumer, one that paid $60 for the game, will eventually cave and pull out their credit card. And what makes this even crazier is the fact that in many cases, these items are not guaranteed. They are open in the same manner one would with the slot machines in Vegas. You are throwing your money at something for the mere chance of receiving the item you want. And at the end of the day, those are the two options a player has in this situation. Either play the game for 40 hours, unlocking nothing else in the process, just to get enough credits to access Darth Vader in a Star Wars game, or buy loot boxes and hope he pops out of one of them. And there certainly are people out there that will buy this game saying they'll only pay the upfront price, and that's fine. But if you are one of those people, by doing that you are actively not progressing in the way the game was designed. So with this has come a large uproar from a variety of sources, causing EA to temporarily remove them entirely. And you may be asking, companies like EA and Activision have been practicing business like this in many games for a long time. What gives now? And that's what this video is about, looking at the why of the situation, going into what caused this outrage, if EA can fix it, and what it all means for the future of Battlefront and potentially the entire gaming market. There are a few reasons as to why EA made this decision to remove loot boxes from Battlefront 2. Some are more obvious than others considering on how much you've looked into the topic. When you look at it from the surface, yeah, it's pretty weird. Big publishers like EA have been putting loot box microtransactions into their big games for years now, and have always been hated for doing so. And honestly, it felt as if this was something that gamers would just have to live with. No matter how many complaints, no matter the amount of YouTube videos, tweets, Reddit posts, it didn't seem like in the end it would make a real difference. The only realistic solution that a lot of people, myself included, saw was to just not buy them, have a boycott of sorts. And while there was surely a good amount of people who would hop on the bandwagon to do this, it would never be enough to actually start hitting EA where it hurts, in their wallets. If publishers saw no monetary gain behind microtransactions, they wouldn't put them into games. But Battlefront changed things and got a response that a lot of people didn't see coming. And yeah, while this can be a bit confusing at first, when you think about it, there are clear explanations for what went on here. Let's start with money. Battlefront 2 has come out at a time to milk it as much as humanly possible. At this time marks not only the release of the next Star Wars film, but it also happens to be the Christmas season. And typically, like I said, EA will look at how pissed consumers are over microtransactions and not really bat an eye. But when you have this being so egregiously done on a property as big as Star Wars, it becomes a larger story. This caused multiple news outlets to make stories on the backlash EA was receiving, which would of course get this story out to more and more of the average consumers who do not typically look into the games that they're buying. That is not supposed to be a casual gamer insult. I'm just saying, if you asked your Aunt Sonia for that new Star Wars game, she will get it for you as a Christmas gift without really thinking about it. She's not going to look at the nitty-gritty details. Sonia probably doesn't even know what a loot box is. Freaking Sonia. But if you were to make this a bigger story and reach out to those who are typically uninformed in these situations, then EA will get a little nervous about losing a bit of money here. And that's why I think there's such a huge emphasis on the whole temporary when referring to EA removing in-game purchases. I'd love to live in a world where they would rework the credit system and remove microtransactions permanently, but most likely, they'll wait till the movie comes out, they'll wait till Christmas passes, they'll wait till everyone buys Battlefront 2 thinking it's safe from this issue now, and then they'll put those things back into the game to milk it over time like Betsy the cow. But other than feeling like they're gonna lose money, EA had a bigger reason to make this decision. Disney, who owns Star Wars, told them to do it, which is just spicy. And this is the turning point here that can kind of make a big difference for gaming in general. There were also some stories talking about EA getting into legal issues with underage gambling and stuff like that. This is just a beautiful thing, guys. Basically, Star Wars is Disney's big moneymaker, right? And they spent a lot more money on the brand than EA did for this game. So yeah, Disney didn't seem like they were cool with Battlefront giving the entire franchise a bad rap, especially at the time of the new film coming out. This whole thing really just became bigger than gaming, and in many ways, makes you wonder what could come of all this. It could just be a Star Wars thing. The property is enormously popular and EA just decided to cash in a little too much. Maybe they can't do it in Battlefront, but can continue to do it in other games, only time will tell. I think it's an odd time right now because it's really the first time we've seen a big company like EA get burned for this type of behavior. I don't think that developers, people at DICE, for example, in this situation, enjoy suckering people out of their money. They are average guys and gals trying to make a fun game. Disney wants to make a ton of money like EA does, but they want to make sure their consumers are happy and keep the property in positive lighting. EA and other publishers like Activision want to make money off their licenses. Period. I don't think they really care all that much about their consumers, at least the higher ups don't. And honestly, why should they? People allow microtransactions to exist because they cave and they buy them. That's the sad truth about it. But maybe, just maybe, when a story like this reaches up so high, maybe it will make these publishers think twice about putting this stuff into their games in such a money-hungry way. Like I said, they might not. Maybe for now it's just Star Wars. But who knows, maybe today it's Star Wars. Maybe tomorrow it's some other game involving drama with government intervention. Who knows? It's kind of grasping for straws when you say that this one incident will make changes to EA as a whole or the entire gaming market as a whole. But I think at least it could teach some publishers or developers a lesson for future games, or at the very least, Star Wars games. Now lastly, do I think that Star Wars Battlefront 2 can be salvaged from all of this crap? Honestly, yeah, I mean, maybe they'll take some hits initially, and by looking at numbers so far, they certainly have. I think that if you're someone wary about buying the game right now, it's probably smart to wait and see what EA does with in-game purchases after the holiday season passes. But overall, this is Star Wars we're talking about. I think EA will be fine when it comes to profiting off this game. That is just me giving my opinion off of practically zero data, so it could be totally wrong. But yeah, I don't really think it will be that bad of a situation for them in terms of getting people to purchase their game. A lot of people more than likely already have at this point. But guys, that is the story of Star Wars Battlefront 2. All the controversy, all the deets, and all of that juicy info. And with all that, I want to know what you all think of it. What's your opinion on this matter? What do you think will come of this controversy? Will it make an impact on all of gaming, just EA, or just Star Wars? And lastly, what's the future for Battlefront 2? Will it make up for its mistakes? When will the microtransactions make their return? Make sure to let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, if you could please leave a like. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.